Good morning. If you can hear me, clap once. I just want to I queued up all my teacher jokes for the use of this room, and start by saying thank you and welcome to Resonate 2019. Woo! This is our fourth year of doing this conference. Eddie, are you here? How are the seats? Okay, good. Okay, great. Yeah, last year we had a couple issues with comfort of the chairs and construction outside. So hopefully this venue checks a few more boxes, which allows us to grow in the size of the conference, while also providing the same level of comfort and amenities that those that have attended in the past are used to. Do we have past attendees in the room? Past attendees? Yeah, thank you guys. I think I talked to somebody last night that had been here for 3. Has anyone been here for all 4? Joe, thank you. Mr. Roosterfin and Eddie, thank you. All right. Every year we try to do something a little bit different. We try to kind of take the show up another notch. We try to really deliver on our promise of what we did when we created this show. And we created this show primarily because I was sick of traveling for trade shows and going to shows and not feeling that the shows were meeting the needs of the people that were there. And so Resonate was not designed to replace any of the shows that are currently in the market. It was actually designed to be a level up from the shows that were in the market. So my hope today and over the next 2 days is that what you're going to be gaining from this show is you're going to be gaining some deeper knowledge of how to run your Amazon business and how to start looking at your growth outside of Amazon. We've actually challenged all of our speakers. We challenged our speakers to come with a higher level of content. We've said that you guys have been to shows in the past. You've seen people speak. And a lot of times what happens when you're asked to speak at a conference is that you have to speak to everybody in the room. So you're talking to people in the room who have never launched a product on Amazon, and you're talking to people in the room who are doing 25+ million in sales. That is very difficult as a speaker to develop content that comes to that level. When we describe our content preparation to our speakers, what we tell our speakers is that you guys need to know the 101. And if we go through the 101 and we skip it in this presentation, then it's okay. Don't feel like we need to come down to the lowest common denominator. See, another school reference. And what we want them to do is we want them to come at you with the 200 level class and even bring some 300 level. So you should be a little bit lost if we're talking about a concept that you're not completely familiar with, because we're not going to go down to the basics. I would assume that most people in this room know what ACOS is when we're talking about Amazon advertising. I would assume that most of you have already used a tool like Scope to identify a product and figure out what the potential market penetration of that product is. So those are the basics that are kind of understood. And if you don't know them, it's okay, because there's this really cool website called YouTube that will give you a lot of that basic information. But you guys didn't pay to come and watch YouTube videos. You paid to come watch experts in the space talk about their experience in driving their business or their client's business, which is why a lot of our speakers are consultants and a lot of our speakers are business owners themselves. They've actually done this, and that's what's cool. But you know what else is cool is you guys have done this. And so the best value that you're going to get here is talking to one another. By talking to one another and interacting with yourselves, you're going to take your business to the next level. You're going to find somebody who's also trying to do what you've done. You're going to find somebody who struggled with taking their business to the next level and has had to make changes to their business to get it to the next level. And we can't put all of those on stage. Actually, I guess we could. We would just have to go one by one and start doing breakdown sessions. But that's your challenge when you're in the seat. Every one of you who came to this show should have one thing in mind. You should have one thing in mind, and that one thing in mind should be written down on a piece of paper. That is the one thing that you need to do so that when you leave here today, you can take your business to the next level. And the challenge is that there's 125-ish people that are here at this conference. Every one of you have a different one thing. For some of you, it's figuring out your accounting and your profitability. For some of you, it's figuring out how to sell your business in the next year. For some of you, it's hiring or firing a consultant. For some of you, it's figuring out your advertising or getting somebody to do your advertising for you. For some of you, it's trying to figure out how to use YouTube videos to drive external traffic. For some of you, it's about your organizational growth and how you can expand your team. And for some of you, it's just to find out what other people are doing that's changing their business that's going to give you that one thing that's going to help you grow yours. Because what you're going to get here in about 20 minutes when the presentation starts is what I like to call a fire hose of information. That fire hose of information is going to fill you on so many topics. The problem is that you cannot take action on all the things that you're going to get. It's just not possible. And so what we're going to be talking about, actually, Peter's going to be starting and talking about building strategies and how to develop your strategies and understanding where your business is at. And that's the key foundation for figuring out what your one thing needs to be. I was talking to, you guys all changed clothes from last night, so it's a little more confusing. But I was talking to a young lady last night about Amazon advertising. And what she said to me was, I needed to struggle with it, and now I understand that it's not something I want to do, and I want to find someone to do it for me. And my response to her was, that's awesome. It's actually something we encourage. It's really hard to hire somebody to do something for you if you don't know how to do it yourself. So here you're trying to possibly get some basic knowledge to understand what to ask somebody or how to interact with somebody. And your peers have all done this. So there are people in this room who have expanded into multiple marketplaces, international. Raise your hand if you're in international marketplaces. Great. Anybody here besides you guys, Death Wish in brick and mortar? A couple brick and mortar. Great. Raise your hands up high. This is where you identify yourselves. You guys can raise your hands too. Okay. So we have some people here who are now in brick and mortar. Has anybody's business shifted from Amazon being its primary to its website being its primary? Okay, so Joe's hiding in the corner, right? So these are all the things that we're all doing. That has anyone sold their business in the last couple of years? Anyone sold an Amazon business besides Thomas, who sells them? Okay, so does anybody want to sell their business in the next year? Is that their goal? A couple of you? Great. So these are the goals that you have to have in mind as you're starting to understand what you're trying to accomplish from this. Because as you get that fire hose of information, the critical piece of that fire hose of information is understanding what piece of it's going to drive your business. Does everybody in the room know what the hardest thing to say as an entrepreneur is? Correct. No. It's something we've struggled with at Seller Labs as we've grown, and we just hit our 6th anniversary as a company. And what we've actually found is that as we've gotten better at saying no, we've gotten better at being a bigger, stronger, better company. The toughest thing to do as an entrepreneur is not chase every squirrel that runs by. And so getting yourself focused onto where you need to put your energy is what's going to drive you to success and give you the return on investment from this conference. Because you can't say that the conference didn't give you the information. It's going to be whether you applied that information and you used that information to make change. Sound good? We ready? All right. I have some housekeeping notes. Does anybody think they'll need to go to the bathroom at some point today? Okay, so the bathroom is actually right outside the door, that little hallway across the hall. There's a men's and a women's right there. We have a couple of breaks throughout the day. The breaks, during any of the breaks or any time that you need, the table that we had breakfast, and then also in the back room, so if you come out of the room and go to the left, there's like a little little lounge area with some tables. We'll have snacks all day long. Those snacks change throughout the day. You are in Atlanta, so a fridge is full of Coca-Cola products at your disposal whenever you desire. That is kind of a requirement of some of us. I don't know, I don't know if you noticed, but like the Marriott here, it's the only Marriott like in the world that serves Coca-Cola. and they have like a special exemption because if they didn't serve Coca-Cola, guess who would never stay at their hotel? Yeah, that's right. Anybody from Atlanta, right? Forget Coca-Cola, anybody from Atlanta. So we will announce during the breaks, we'll remind you, during the afternoon breaks, please visit the back room, the back break room, because there's a special ice cream chest. Thank you, Eric, for pointing that out to us. We found that yesterday. We tested everything, okay? And we made sure that it's all calorie free, okay? Fairly confident that I read those correctly. I want to thank our sponsors. So we have a few sponsors. We do sponsorships differently at this conference than we do at other conferences. We don't have a trade show floor, but our sponsors are here to interact with you and to help you. And they're here to help you grow your business. Obviously, they're here to sell their products. But it's more of a, are you interested? And if you're interested, then find them. They are going to be delivering some content up here today, but you'll see that their content is not sales pitches. Their content is more around how you can grow your business. So is Google here? No, they're still sleeping in. That's what you get, the California people. So I want to thank Google for last night. They sponsored our cocktail party last night. Payability, Kevin and Vicky, thank you. So if anybody has any questions about really just moving your money from foreign locations back into the U.S., if anybody is looking for short-term loans off of their income, please talk to Payability. I just went with a total brain fart there, sorry. But I can admit it, right? When you do wrong, admit it. And they're going to be talking about different ways to finance your business. FE International, is Thomas here? I hadn't seen him here yet this morning. If you're looking to, he's got a beard. If you're looking to sell your business, FE International, that's what they do. And they will actually sit down with you here at the show and kind of do a quick business evaluation. Give you guys a sense of what you would need to do if you're looking to sell your business, how you would need to position your business, and such. From that, you will probably find out that you need to fix your books. And so seller accountant, Tyler, is here. Tyler is actually my bookkeeper for my Amazon business. It's not, yeah. And what they do that's a little different is they take more of like a CFO type of mentality in terms of talking through profitability and options and how you can grow your business, not just like here's your QuickBooks and here's your information. So it's a little bit more in depth. And again, if you want somebody to take a look at your books, Tyler, I don't know, you'll do it. He'll take a free look at your books, give you guys some feedback, kind of share with you what he could do to help you. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but Amazon doesn't really make the information that comes out of their system really easy to get into QuickBooks. You guys have that problem? Yeah. So I think that the first month of working with him, that was just cleaning all of those fees up. And then I was like, oh, that's actually how much money I'm making. Cool. Some of you might be like, oh, that's how much money I'm making? Right? So we want to be the oh, cool side of it, so we actually know how much profit we're driving from our business. And then finally, Nathan. Hey, what's up, man? Nathan's walking a little slow. He had foot surgery last week, but he still made it here. Is anyone using FreeUp? Awesome. So a few clients are already in the room. We've worked with Nathan, I don't even know how long we've been working together, several years now. And what's cool about Nathan is really the FreeUp crew is like this more vetted community. So you're not going into Upworks and getting these random people who say they know how to do things, but they don't. So if you're looking for, I wouldn't even call them VAs. I would call them like outsourced workers to expand your Amazon business. That's what FreeUp will do for you. So reach out to those guys. Some of you interacted with us before and asked us to be connected with them, and so you should have gotten an email connection to them, and we thank you for that. And you guys can take some time if there's a presentation that you want to skip. Again, you guys can step out of the room and have those conversations. Did everybody find the Wi-Fi? No? It's GT Visitor. GT Visitor is the Wi-Fi. The password is no password. We're just trusting that Georgia Tech is a high-tech place. It's so there is no password. It is a secure network, and you guys should be able to connect. The internet should be great for everybody in the room. This is a very high-tech global learning center. All of our TVs are connected via VGA cables. For the rest of you, you'll kind of get that at some point. All right, so that is kind of our sponsors and some of our notes. I want to introduce some of the Stellar Labs staff because we do this in Atlanta so that the Stellar Labs staff can come and interact with you guys. A lot of the times you guys are interacting with our office in a capacity of chat or phone, but this is an opportunity for you to actually interact with them one-on-one. Is Caroline in the room? No? Okay. So I'll pull Caroline up and we'll thank her later. Caroline is our coordinator for the event. You've probably interacted with her in some way, shape, or form. Oh, here she comes. Woo, Caroline. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything with this event, bring them to Caroline, and she will direct you in the right way. Most of the Stellar Lab staff should be able to help you, but she's kind of the end-all, be-all. They came up to me earlier and they said, "Are you happy?" And I said, "I don't know. Is Caroline happy?" Because if Caroline's happy, I'm happy. It's kind of like, you know, she's my wife for the next 2 days, and that's how I feel when I'm at home with my wife. Is as long as my wife is happy, then I'm great. So Caroline is the one. As long as she's got it all under control, then I'm under control. All I have to do is stand up here and talk. And you guys know I like to do that. All right, so we're going to be shooting some customer video testimonials. Some of you have agreed to do that. So Matt and Corey from our marketing team will be doing customer testimonial videos. If you agreed to do one, we'll grab you at some point in time. Again, if you have a certain session that you're like, oh, I could skip that one, let us know. If you would like to do a video testimonial, it's like 5 to 10 quick questions, so it won't take a lot of your time. We would love to capture you on video. Please see any of the people that I'm about to announce, and they'll direct you in the right way. And for Stellar Labs people, that means tell Molly, okay? See, I got to instruct them too. So then there's Molly. Molly is our new VP of Marketing. She just joined us a couple months ago now. Everything moves quickly at Stellar Labs. What was a couple weeks is now a couple months. And then we have a bunch of people from our product team here. So last year, if you were at the show, you heard Katie speak. So Katie's our head of product. And she's here with Dan and Jennifer. And tomorrow we'll have Cindy, who will be joining us. And they would love to talk to you about anything related to the product. So we do have a product that is close to beta. And if you're interested in kind of being part of that product, then please find them, and they would love to have kind of an interview with you to understand kind of what you're looking for. I'll say that it's kind of like, the easiest way to describe it is like quantify, dashboard, analytic type tool. Is that it? Was that enough but not too much? All right, cool. So if you're looking for analytical type tools for your business, please talk to our product team. They would love to hear your feedback. If you're here with a gripe about our product, okay? If you're here with a gripe about our product, you go outside, you go down the stairs, go across the street, and that's the bus terminal. No, seriously, we want to hear your feedback, good or bad. So if you have a problem with one of our products, please tell our product team, or you can tell our customer success team, which is led by Joe. Led by John. I'm really not, if I looked at my notes, John Kipe is the head of our customer success team, and then he's got Joe and Lauren who are here, and they would love to sit down with you. A couple of you last night said, hey, can somebody look at my Feedback Genius account and tell me if I'm doing this right or doing that right? They would love to sit down with you. Now, understand, they can't solve every problem here at this show, and so they may have to set up an appointment with somebody back at the office to sit down with you afterwards. But this is your opportunity to really interact with them directly, ask the questions. And we find them to be really valuable when we go to trade shows. They're able to gain a ton of this information. We have a whole slew of people from our advertising team here. So Mike Hogan runs our advertising team. And then, let's see, Tyler. By the way, Tyler changed positions on me. So if you've been knowing Tyler, he's worked for me for the last like 30 years of my life. And now he's working for Mike and his team. Yeah, it's crazy how that works. And then we have Brett and Edward and Jeremy and Cameron and Will. And we'll have some other people here tomorrow. Was anybody else from your team here that I missed? So these are the people to talk to if like you have questions about Amazon advertising. They're the ones who are day-to-day basis in Amazon advertising accounts. They're changing bids, they're creating strategies, they're implementing strategies. They're the ones to kind of grab and talk to and kind of hear about, get your questions answered about Amazon advertising. Finally, we have our head of engineering here. A Georgia Tech grad, and so is Molly. A Georgia Tech grad, and I said, make sure nobody knows you're here. We don't want anybody here to steal you. So Maryland is our head of engineering. And then this year, we're not gonna ask Hank to speak, but Hank is our CEO. And he's a Georgia Tech grad as well. They don't give you any discount for having Georgia Tech grads, but so if you have any really high-level questions about where Seller Labs is going or a complaint you don't want to bring to anybody else, you're welcome to bring them to Hank. And then finally, I guess the founder of the company, Brandon. And Brandon is still an engineer. Brandon is still working on products. Brandon is still in the trenches, like spinning up servers and taking them down. Last night he came into the room at like midnight and he's like, I finished a whole bunch of stuff. And I go, was it good? He goes, well, I didn't break anything. And it just reminds me back of the day. I've been working with Brandon now for over 10 years, and that's just a very Brandon comment. So that's kind of the Seller Labs staff that's here to interact with you. But one thing I want to be very careful of in explaining is that we're not here to sell our products. And it's something that comes up every year at the show. We're not here to sell our products. Well, I'll take that back. We are here to sell our products. We are not on stage to sell our products. So we're not going to be up here on stage demoing our products and showing how they work and things like that. And a lot of people leave this show and they go, I really thought you were going to show me this, or you were going to show me that, or show me how this tool works, or show me how that tool works. That is not what we're going to be doing from this stage. We did not charge you money to come sit here and watch a dog and pony showcase of our products. We brought you here to teach you about selling on Amazon. So we organized the day in 2 sections today. Our first half of the day is going to be really around this idea of setting our minds, getting our minds wrapped around where our business is at today and where we're trying to take our business. It's going to start with Peter, who's talking about strategy and audits for your Amazon business. Then we're going to move to, I didn't wear my glasses, Liz. I've known the Liz and Jason for a number of years in the Vermont Teddy Bear group. They have an amazing story of how they kind of the title I had come up with was, what was the title? It was like, I have it on my title slide. Oh, great. I won't give it away. We came up with a different title based on some conversations, but they've done some amazing things in moving their business from a print digital catalog to being a gigantic seller on Amazon, and they're totally innovative and cutting edge in the things that they do. But it's scrappy. Like I went up to their office and hung out with them, and like the stuff that they do is so scrappy, and it's stuff that all of us could be doing. They just think outside of the box. And then we're going to have Colleen, who is part of the Smarter Marketer group, who's going to be talking about how she really. Have you ever heard Ezra Firestone speak on stage? Yeah. So her job is really to wrangle him in. And her job has been to build his organization for structural growth. So he has an infomercial business, but he also has a physical product business. So how do you structure all of that for growth? How do you build culture around that? How do you build that growth into what you're doing? Then we're going to break for lunch, and we're going to come back from lunch, and we're going to have like this heavy dose of traffic. okay, because you're in Atlanta, so we're going to give you a lot of traffic. And we're going to start with Google, talking about one of their new platforms and how you can get on their platform and as a new source for driving traffic to your products. We're going to then meet with Bryant. I haven't seen him yet this morning. Bryant was part of the creative team behind Purple Mattress and their growth through YouTube videos. Then we're going to jump to the Ed and Brett show, which are really their presentations. You'll see they kind of interact with each other. But we're going to be talking about auditing ads and then managing your ACOS. Or actually, I got that backwards. Auditing and ACOS, and then optimizing your campaigns. They're going to take you through some of the deep dive stuff that they do when they look at campaigns and how they look at them, giving you guys, examples of how to actually be structuring and doing these things. And then Bryant is actually coming back on stage, which I actually very rarely ever do. And he's coming back on stage because he did a presentation at SMX, which is a search marketing conference. And he was like, hey, I just did this presentation at SMX. Do you think your audience would be interested? And I thought you guys would be interested on advertising's impact on organic rank. So he's going to come back in and talk about that. And then at the end of the day, we're going to put everybody up here on a panel for a giant Q&A around traffic. And we'll have Liz and we'll have Colleen come back and Peter, because they actually manage traffic for their clients as well, or for their businesses as well. And we'll have this big kind of ending discussion on the idea of traffic. Tomorrow, we're going to start the day on buyer personas. Molly's going to talk about building buyer personas, identifying who the buyer of your product is and how you speak to them. And then Robin is going to follow that up by talking about listing optimization and how you actually create your listing to match those buyer personas. And this is, you guys, I think the thing is that tried and true works, and the fundamentals of listing optimization work, but so many sellers still get it wrong. I was on a call yesterday with a guy looking at their account. I would love to put it up here and show you, but like it was literally a presentation I did 3 years ago. I mean, I was like, what is a 107 CF MBXT and why do I care? And he had literally mentioned that term in his listing 4 times. But we don't care because we don't know what that is. So how do you actually speak to the buyer when you're creating your listings? Then we're going to have Eddie come up and talk about logistics. Eddie's a eight figures Amazon seller, runs a two multi-thousand square foot warehouses. And he's kind of become this expert in logistics, and it's really kind of cool what some of the things is that he does. And he's going to talk about how do you get your products from your manufacturer to Amazon and save money. And I think the title that we came up with online was while the riches is in the niches, the profits is in logistics. Because if you screw up the logistics, like you just throw money away. Then we're going to be getting into some stuff about cash flow management, strategic partnerships, driving the speed limit with TOS compliance, financing your business. And then we're going to end the day with another panel discussion on what do we do in 2018 that won't work today? Because the Amazon world is shifting so quickly that things that we did last year just won't work trying to do them today. Sound good? All right. So we built in breaks so you guys can have some breaks along the day. If you didn't have the agenda, please grab the agenda. We're going to get ourselves started now. Caroline, do I have to pull the presentation up? Nobody. The first one. Caroline? Eric, do you know where Peter's presentation is?
It's on there.
Yeah, I know it's on here. I know we tested it. I know it's all on the computer. I just don't know how to pull it up. All right, so what did you do to do that? Just so I know.
It's the first one.
Oh, the exit. Okay, escape. All right, cool. Control Alt Delete. Okay, got it. Go to that one. Go to that one.
Go to the first
one.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hit
Go
the
to present mode. Awesome.
Woo!